Hello, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, I'm Sonia. Welcome to my channel NIA'S Aesthetic. I cannot believe this is my 4th year of journaling. I'm so excited for 2026 because I have planned so many creative journaling videos for you all this year. I have already posted my 2026 bullet journal setup. If you have not watched it yet, click the I button above or check the link in the description below after this video. Now let's move on to our January cover page. For January, I tried something completely new to me. I decided to go with a purple desert theme. I have always wanted to try a desert theme, but every time I looked on Pinterest for inspiration, they felt so intimidating. The details, the texture, the shading, everything looked so advanced that I have never actually attempted one before. But this year, I really wanted to step out of my comfort zone. I wanted 2026 to be about growth, trying new art styles, and enjoying the learning process, even if they feel challenging at first. I started with the sponge cake layer using a light brown shade as the base. Then I added a slightly darker brown and blended it using a blending brush pen to create a soft baked texture. I focused on making it look fluffy and dimensional. Once the cake base was done, I used a pastel purple shade to create the ganache dripping over the top. At depth, I applied a darker purple near the edge and blended it gently. That blending step made such a difference and gave it a smooth and creamy effect. To complete the illustration, I added a few blackberries on the top of the cake. That tiny detail made it look more finished and balanced. This was honestly such a fun illustration to create. Finally, I used my white gel pen to add small highlights and create that shiny, glossy look on the ganache. Those tiny details make it look much more realistic. Honestly, I am so happy with how it turned out. It feels like such a proud moment because I almost didn't try this theme at all. Now moving on to the page title, I first wrote January in light brown in brush calligraphy and added darker brown around the border of each letter, but I did not like how it looked, so I layered the dark brown over the letters and then added soft brown shadows and used my white gel pen to add the highlights on the letters. And honestly, the dark brown lettering looks so much nicer on the page. I really hope you love this purple desert cover page as much as I do. On to the chocolate heart detail, I started with a light purple shade as the base to match the overall theme. To make it look more dimensional, I added a slightly darker purple tone around the edges. Then I blended both colors together to create a soft gradient effect. That blending really helps the chocolate look round and realistic instead of flat. Beside that heart-shaped chocolate, I also added a half piece of chocolate. For that, I used purple for the outer shell and a light brown shade to create the chocolate filling in the center. That small details make the whole illustration more interesting and complete. Next up is my goals spread. Since last year, I have been placing my monthly goals page on the left side before the cover page. I find it so convenient because as soon as I open my journal, my goals are right in front of me. It acts as a daily reminder to stay focused. This is definitely one spread I would recommend you all to try. It really helps with staying intentional throughout the month. I started with the header as goals in brush calligraphy. Below that, I created a simple box layout where I will jot down all my January goals. I kept it clean and minimal so it feels organized and easy to read. At the bottom, I added another chocolate illustration using a mix of purple and brown tone to tie everything together with the desert theme. Moving on to my content planner, this year I decided to try a completely new layout. Previously, I used to create a big monthly calendar and place my content tracker on the right side, but honestly, that layout was not working well for me. It looked nice, but it was not very functional. So, for 2026, I made my calendar smaller. Below the calendar, I left space for important notes, a to-do list, and monthly events. On the right side, I created my content tracker. I also added a small box where I will write the books I plan to read during the month, and below that, I kept space for video ideas. Since content creation is such a big part of my routine, having everything clearly laid out really helps me stay on track. I am excited to see how this new layout works for me this year. Here I also created a chocolate pop stick. I started with a light brown base for the chocolate and then used purple as the glazing on the top. To add more details, I used a darker brown to create a drizzle effect. I finished everything with my white gel pen to add shiny highlight details. Those little highlights make the chocolate look glossy and realistic. Now next is the jelly cake illustration, which was actually very easy and fun to create. I used a light brown shade to draw the glass bowl, then filled it with light purple to create the jelly. To make it look more cohesive and slightly dimensional, I layered the corner again with the same brush pen to deepen the color, and finally I added highlights using the white gel pen, and that completed the illustration. I love how this desert elements come together and make the January spread feel cohesive and more creative. Next up is my gratitude and brain dump spread. For this one, I kept it simple and minimal. I left plenty of space to write down my daily gratitude entries, and on the brain dump side, I can jot down anything that is bothering me, important reminders or random thoughts. I created the header using brush calligraphy on both the sides. As you can see, I actually forgot to add shadows to the letters before moving on to the illustration. I actually got a little too excited to create the illustration. For this spread, I created a purple popsicle. I used light brown for the stick and purple color for the popsicle part. Then I added a brown chocolate drizzle effect on the top. To make it pop more, I layered a bit of extra color in certain areas and finished it with white gel pen highlights. And if you're still watching until this point, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and let me know in the comments what you think about this January setup. Now moving on to my last spread, which is my weekly setup. Just a quick note, I am not creating a habit tracker in my monthly spread for the next few months. The habit that I truly want to focus on already have a dedicated setup before my monthly section begins. I really want to give them my full attention and improve consistently. This weekly layout, I started with the header Jan in brush calligraphy. Below that, I added a small monthly calendar, and under that, I created a checkered rectangular pattern box for my weekly priorities. Now my favorite part of this spread is definitely the donut illustration. I was so excited to create this one, maybe because it is one of my favorite desserts. I used light brown as the base for the donut and purple for the glazing. I layered the purple slightly to give it more depth. Then I added pink, yellow and blue sprinkles and finished it with white gel pen highlights for that glossy effect. After that, I created my daily boxes using two different styles. One design is a brown abstract grid box pattern, which gives a slightly structured but artistic look. The other one is a purple box pattern with a soft wavy border along the edges. I love how the contrast between the grid and the wavy lines add variety while still keeping the theme cohesive. I repeated the same design on the next two pages, so it did take some time to complete. It was definitely time consuming but totally worth it. I really love how this weekly spread turned out, and I hope you love it too. Now let's move on to the final flip through of the entire January setup. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Your support truly means a lot to me. I will see you again in my next video. Bye bye.